Hi, I want to talk a little bit about energetic medicine, flower essences, and my introduction to flower essences. So I want to tell a story about my introduction to flower essences, which was maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And I have a little dog. You may have seen him. His name is Steve. He's a little dog. He's 10 pounds, 11 pounds. And years ago, I had Steve, and I was living in a house where there were 2 cats. And Steve was afraid of the cats. He's a little dog. One of the cats was bigger than him. And if he saw the cats were in a room, he wouldn't go into the room. I would see him just waiting outside of the door, waiting to see, was it safe to come in, or would I come pick him up and bring him into the room to protect him? And a friend told me that she would make Steve a flower essence blend to give him confidence. And I didn't know what that was, but I said, sure, I'll try it. And she mixed up a blend. I don't know what was in it. And she said, just put it in his water. And I put it in his water. And within 1 or 2 days, Steve my dog, was not afraid of the cats anymore. He would bark at them. If he saw them walking by him when he was in the room, he would chase them and try to bite their ankles. And I think I maybe gave it to him for like 1 to 3 days. I didn't continue giving it to him for long term, but it made a permanent change. He was never afraid of the cats again, which is just so amazing. And when I think about it, it kind of surprises me that seeing how powerful, how potent that medicine was, that I didn't get really into flower essences after that point. I mean, I took Rescue Remedy, but I didn't really understand what that was. Bach flower essences, Rescue Remedy. But it wasn't until years later that I started getting interested in flower essences and understanding what they are and how powerful they are. So, I think animals are a lot more receptive to them than a lot of people are. We have all these belief systems that all of us, even myself, even people who are herbalists who work with energy medicine, we have this conditioning, even if it's like on a subtle unconscious level, that medicine has to be really powerful, that the more that you take, better, that energy's not real. So taking something that's so low dose, like a flower essence, it's a very low dose, it's primarily energetic medicine, there is like a very low dose of a plant medicine in there, is just so hard for our minds to accept that this works. So it doesn't work as well. Like, we have to be willing to be open to work with the medicine. I mean, obviously Steve didn't understand cognitively that he's getting a flower essence that's going to give him confidence. He doesn't understand that, and it works for him. So it's not just placebo effect either. I see in my classes, when I pass around a flower essence blend, or before I lead a journey in person, I pass around a flower essence blend. Often, especially with the poisonous essences, people instantly, the energy of the room just kind of quiets down. People drop into their bodies. People relax. It can be a really, really potent, powerful medicine, especially once we can kind of get over that hurdle of this actually works. And even sometimes I still am like, is this real? This doesn't make sense. How does this work? Because of how ingrained that conditioning is in our culture. But yeah, flower essences are powerful medicine. They're not weak medicine. They work really well. They work especially well for if you're working with something you're wanting to heal or process things emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. They also work for physical ailments, but I tend to reach more toward, and this could be part of my conditioning, but for physical ailments, I reach more towards tinctures and teas and that kind of thing to actually like nourish my physical body. But if the physical ailments are a result of psychological distress, then flower essences are the way to go. So, I don't know, I could talk a lot more about this, but really I just wanted to share that initial story of my introduction to flower essences and just getting to see firsthand how powerful it is. And I get messages from people all the time taking my medicines telling me how helpful it is for them, you know, going through some kind of difficult transition, or it's helping rewire something in their brain, helping to give them confidence, or helping them to feel more embodied, or, you know, open-hearted, whatever the medicine is for. And that's my favorite thing in the world, to get messages like that, like knowing like, oh, the medicine that I'm making is actually doing what it's supposed to do, of helping people. So anyway, if you have any stories about your introduction to flower essences, or any particularly powerful experiences that really solidified in your mind, like this is real, this isn't some placebo, new age woo-woo bullshit, I'd love to hear in the comments. Yeah. Bye.